Sup, party people? Now, today I'm in here with a video that I wish other creators would do. There's this game. This game has a pretty small community, like I said in the last video. And so I wanted to upload a little bit about it. It's a really good game, and I also will be uploading some Brawl Stars soon. Because I felt like the Anime Defenders is getting a little old. I want to hop back on it, but they kind of slow down updates. The updates aren't as well made, and so I decided that this isn't an Anime Defenders YouTube anymore. It's not the best for content. I might upload one or two with recommendations, but people don't really recommend the videos, so we'll see what this gets me. But anyways, I'm going to be showing you guys showcasing a deck that I made, but did not get the idea from. I forgot who, but someone went up to me one time and was like, hey, or I went up to someone and was like, hey, I need help with a deck. They were like, sure, I can help you with a deck, and I didn't have the cards at that time, so it was not made. But then I finally got better at the game, and I got the card. So I don't know if this is the exact copy of his or if it's different at all, because I made this one, so this one's a little bit like it's not my idea, but it is my kind of deck. It's custom. So I'm gonna be showing you guys a custom deck of mine now. You guys are always free to copy it completely or spin it up a little bit. I know it's probably funner if you do, but this is the You're the Bomb deck. The whole point of the deck is it is a... Now, if you guys don't know the game that well, then you're not going to have the cards for this, already letting you guys know. But you guys do need at least 2 copies of Grand Tutoring. The reason why I say 2 and not 1 is that technically you could only do 1, but it's kind of hard out of 40 cards to get it as soon as you need to, because this deck, you need a kind of, like, as soon as you get to, like, 7, 8, or 9 mana, you need to, have Grand Tutoring in your hand. It's really good at Grand Tutoring in your starting hand, but it's a necessity. So you have to have Grand Tutoring, and you also must have, where is he? Molten Mire. Read his ability, activate sacrifice this creature and deal 4 damage to all players. Now, I'm going to explain what the deck is, okay? So, the whole point of the deck is to Grand Tutor, but I'm going to explain how this deck works real quick. So, first, what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to remove, like, 1 card real quick because it's going to be easier, guys, to read the cards. This is the point of the deck. So, there is something in Augur's Order. My game wasn't laggy. Yeah, look. My connection lost. Okay, so there's something in Augur's Order that you guys need to know. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about once it loads up. This takes forever. Okay. It's in the 5 mana, so I could have practiced 5 mana and it would have sent me there. Here it is. Loyally Lieutenant. So if you read this, it says after you discard a card, summon a Sellsword. His discard ability is summon a Sellsword as well. Read the Sellsword real quick. Last word, give 1 life. And he's also ranged, and he has a discard ability, but we don't care about the range or anything like that. Oopsie, that was not supposed to go into the deck. Loyally Lieutenant, I already have 2 of those. We need another agreement, but I'll add that later. I'll fix this deck up in a second. Yeah, Loyally Lieutenant, get out of there. We don't need 3. You need 2. 3 you can always have, but I've always been able to pull it off with only 1, and 2 lets you cycle through that. So you mainly need 2. But I'm gonna explain to you cards you can't. Guys, for that, what happened is basically, what happened is I disconnected because my internet sucks major butt. But anyway, so now I'm going to explain to you what I was talking about before the game so rudely disconnected me. It's not the game's fault. It's actually my internet's fault. I know. Anyways, so the point of the Sellsword, you guys might think it's because it says its ability is last words give 1 life. But that is actually not the reason why we want that. It's because Sellswords are is a card that Grand Tutoring works on. Now, if you go to Grand Tutoring, it says fetch 1 non-legendary creature, then banish it. Replace the abilities of all friendly underlings with this ability with the banished creature. That's why we want Sellsword, Loyally Lieutenants, because they summon underling tokens. That's the reason why. Now I'm going to go further onto it because I'm going to be explaining it / playing it. I'm going to explain how that kind of works. So, basically, our main point of the game is to get get a Loyally Lieutenant, or also, you can also get, these are not the most reliable, but they do help. They summon a Sellsword if you have controlling contracts, and summon that many, so if you have, like, 3 contracts on the field, you get, like, 3 Sellswords. So they're okay for a good starting game, and also if you need to replace some, but definitely have those in there. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But, yeah, so you can obviously see that I have 5 creatures. Now, you want either, if you want no more than like 6, no more than 5, I would even say, because sometimes that's the bad part, because if you read where is it? Grand Tutoring, it says fetch non-legendary creature to banish all abilities. I'll show you guys in a second. It will show 3 options, and then that's the one you have to choose to banish. If none of the Molten Myers come up, then you're practically screwed. Now, 2 of those are Molten Myers. One of them is the Medicine Dude, which I'll get into later. You don't have to have him, but he's pretty good to have in there because he gains life, and he's also good for starting game and for blocking if you really need to. And then there's also 2 Loyal Lieutenants. So that's practically all. You don't need any more than that. Now I'm going to explain more of the ground basis of this deck. So, sorry I'm talking a little fast. I don't know. I always do that. That's my bad. So now you can see that it's activate sacrifice this creature and deal 4 direct damage to all players. Now let me explain how this works. First, we place Loyalty Lieutenant. So actually, you know what? We're actually going to start a game up. And when we're starting this game up, we're actually going to explain. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm gonna start a game up so I can explain while playing it and how this works. So let's get our You're the Bomb deck. Now, there was actually, I was going to call it Suicidal deck, or the Suicide Bomber deck, but that's just a copy of the person that tried to help me make it that one time. So, you can obviously see our hand. Now, this is not going to be a good hand. I'll explain why. Because you might think, oh, 1 mana, 2 mana, and we have the card we want. Loyal Lieutenant and the Molten Mire. We don't want this in our hand. We want these all the time in the deck. That's why it's an order deck, because you can discard. So, we are going to redraw. Now, if that is your redrawn hand, that is not the worst hand. You can always just discard it, but that is actually, it's kind of a worse hand. So, what we're first going to do is we always want this in the deck by the time we have Grand Tutoring. And when you discard, if you guys don't know, it will take 1 HP away, which is fine, and then it also will redraw you a card. See? And boom, we got the card we wanted. So, first we're actually going to play... actually, you know what? No, we're going to save it. Actually, you know what? Actually, no, we can do this. Boom. Now, this is not... Now, I'm not saying that everybody has to play like this, but this is definitely a good... We play now. I'm going to explain to you later when I get into things and how this works. So, the reason why we have these beneficial agreements, one, is because it's discard ability gain 2 life. We don't care about the main ability. These are always going to be discarded cards. Same with the Molten Myers. So, first, we can discard this to gain 2 life. Then we'll gain 2 life. We'll technically only gain 1 because it does get rid of 1 life. And boom, we got a Grand Tutoring, which we want. Now we have 2 more or 2 of those. So we'll play a, you know what? We'll actually play a Dreadful Drain. That'll take 2 of his and give this to us. And then boom. Now, the reason why we want cards that heal us is because it deals 4 damage to both of us. Since it does deal damage to both of us, I need to make sure I always have more HP than him when I start sacrificing. Even if it's 1 more HP, because it always does damage to him first before me. So if I don't have more HP than him, then I'm screwed, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to survive. So you want to make sure you at least always, or you want to make sure that they have 4 HP before you have 4 HP. So if you get what I'm saying, is that like if he's at 5 and I'm at 4, I'm gonna die because he's gonna live at 1. So you want to make sure that you always have more HP than him when you start sacrificing. That's why a lot of early game cards are gonna be your discards to gain life. You saw I just gain 3 life and put 3 things in there, or 3 elixirs that gain me 2 life. So yeah, that's the point. Now even though he's attacking, you don't care. This one I'm also going to teach you how to play the deck, because I know that sometimes people will tell you how the deck works, but won't teach you how to play it. Now, you might be like, why not play the Sellsword dude? It's because I'm waiting 1 second, and you might be like, why not play this? It's 1 mana. You see how it says discard 2 cards, and this says whenever you discard a card into whatever. If we save this, we're going to get more use out of it than just drawing and discarding cards. So, we'll just go back to this, and then we'll discard. Actually, you know what? We'll actually discard an official agreement, because we always want that to be discarded. Boom, draw a card, Medicine Carrier, perfect. We can play that, because he's more HP. Now, you always want to be ranking up HP. A card that you do need, though, I'm going to go over it. Please don't be a bullet. Oh my gosh, I was about to be like bullet. So a really good card that you probably do want is Pack of Non-Aggression. It is legendary, but once you get to 5 HP or below, you will heal 10 HP. So even if he has more HP than me, I'll still heal back up 10, and then I'll win the game. So like literally, I played last game like a little bit ago. I won the game because I won the game on 1 HP. Technically, he had just a little bit more HP than me, but it always does. And I thought he got disconnected. My bad. It always does damage to him first. Now it does not say that they're scriptly on the Molten Mire. If it wanted to show that up, I'll show you guys in a second. It does not literally say that it does damage to him first. But if you do play the card, I can tell you right now, it does damage to them first. That's how you're gonna be able to pull this off. Because this deck is also a funny deck. Do not play this in ranked unless you are really. That's why we have 2. 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 That is why we have 2. Now see that he literally ruined my whole plan because he got rid of my Loyalty Lieutenant. That was literally the card I was gonna play. So you know what? We're gonna try to get that back. So it's a discard this. Please give me another Loyalty Lieutenant. Maybe. Okay, that's good. More HP. And that is not what I wanted. So you know what we're going to actually do? We're going to, you know what? We're going to Golden Silence. No, because it's not really going to help us right now. Actually, no, we're going to draw 2 cards. We do want to try to get these. Okay, so shuffle deck around. That's going to be good. And you know what? We can discard that for another Sellsword. And then we're going to do that 1 more. No, because the discard just goes back up to the top. Actually, no, it actually did shuffle. So we actually going to play that 1 more time to try to get a Loyalty Lieutenant. We did not get a Loyalty Lieutenant, but we will discard that. And then shuffle the deck. Probably not the best move I could have played, but there's not really a lot of other... Do we have a life pack in there? We do already have a life pack. Okay. Let's see. What can we do? Nothing. We're good. We don't want to always use all our mana. We want to make sure we also, know what we're doing. Now, this dude, it's harder to play this deck against, him because he will Poison Bomb, and Poison Bomb literally takes out all her entire thing. So as long as they don't Poison Bomb, which not a lot of people run, Poison Bomb's the main counter to this deck, but not a lot of people run it. So it is very easy to... whatever. So we need to do that to draw a card. Molten Mire, go back in the deck. Gain 2 life. That is good. Pack of Non-Aggression. Good to always to play. Flip. Now, I did kind of get my plan ruined. That's the reason why we have 2. I swear to God. Oh my goodness. See, I told you, he will literally just ruin us. Since these are going to get killed, we will block them, because we do not want to take all this damage. This is a lot of damage to take, but we will gain a lot out of it. But that's why we have 2 loyal lieutenants, and even, you can even get rid of, like, I don't know, forceful equestrian, because that's not the best. It's only in there for sometime use. It's just kind of, you know, it's very rarely used. So there are some cards, like I said, you can just kind of make this into however you want it to be built. But we will, since all of his creatures are sleeping, what we're going to do... Okay, that's not good. I wanted to get a little bit of damage off on him, but we cannot do that. But we could... No. Nope, save it. Might need later. So you can obviously see that, like I keep saying, we got our whole planner in because this dude decided, I'm going to Kirishima this place. I might actually get some made for that, but we don't really care. Anyways, we're going to add back in that beneficial agreement. Basically, a lot of these cards either gain us life or spawn loyally lieutenants. Now we will discard this to hopefully get a loyally lieutenant. Loyally lieutenant. Okay, that's good. And boom, that's actually pretty good. And in 10 turns, he will lose half his HP, and that could help us in the long run. Since we do have 2 of those, this will summon 2 of these. Then we're going to Golden Silence to hopefully get a Loyalty Lieutenant. No, that's not what we wanted. And that's stupid. And he's also going to gain 7 life. And he's also going to destroy all of our units. This dude needs to chill out. Now, obviously, if you play against this deck very aggressively, now I have been able to do this with a rush deck. It is very possible, but if he's going to keep killing over things, that's the one thing that's going to screw us over. So like I said, it's a very it's supposed to be a funny deck. You know, play it like every so often, you know, maybe against a new player or two, because it's very easy to counter. It's just fun to play. And quite literally, what the hell else are we going to do now? Because we just got to flip. But, you know, maybe we'll win this somehow. But anyways, basically, once we get a good board, you want to make sure your whole entire board is covered with 1 loyal lieutenant typically, the rest sellswords or whatever. As long as most of your board is covered with sellswords, that's when you do grand tutoring, and then you grand tutor that and all that crap. Oh, perfect. Oh, loyal lieutenant, right when we needed it. Do that to give him 1 more HP. You know what we're going to do. That's going to just one of those. You know, boom. Draw some more cards. And then we're going to play a Breach of Terms to try to hopefully not him fireball our whole arena now. Now we're back on our feet. Boom. Told you. I told you he poison bombed. He's like, oh, you know what? I know I should do... Okay, we're fine with that. We're fine with that. That is okay. Boom. You're going to get half your life destroyed soon, so we are fine with that. We do not need to block that. Once that thing dies, that will give him some HP, and that is not good. Boom, 2 HP. Boom, beneficial agreement going to the grave there. Another, oh, half your life is gone. Another. Okay, well that is not what I expected to happen, but 17 damage in 1 turn is pretty good. Now, we can play this. Man, how the hell did I know that was going to happen? It always happens to me. Okay. What could we do here? This at the very bottom, this, and this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to play 2 Dreadful Drains. That will give us way more HP. And then boom. We're doing good. Now also, this also could be considered a mana burn deck as long as you get it. So, there's been one time that I did mana burn. That's not really how you want the deck to really go out, but this could be considered a mana burn deck because there's been, if you gain a lot of HP, because this is also a good HP deck to gain a lot of HP. Now, Wraith Thrax you could always get rid of as well. I honestly don't ever use it. I've never used it. I think I've actually used it like 1 time, but it's not the best spell to have. I just have it because it's a good backup. Oh, which one do I want to fetch? You know what? Let's play an attack with that. We could steal that, and then we could use it to gain more HP. Yeah, we'll take that, and boom, it's fine down to 5. No, use it yet. Then we could discard. We'll discard Life Pack, and then boom, a Breach of Terms. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, yay, so fun. Okay, that should be good. Because he will attack with that, and then we can get... like I knew. Now what we can do is we can do this. Actually, you know what? Block that. That'll get rid of Taunt. Then we will block this to get down most of the HP. Actually, you know what? You don't really ever want to get rid of your sellswords, but we can do that because he will survive. But we are going to do a little bit of tomfoolery, I guess, because since we don't have enough sellswords yet, we can still use this mana. So we'll do this. And then we're going to take that. Now this will be used and killed. That will be used as a blocker. We do have 2 of those, so now we can do that multiple times. Now we could just do that. Works out. Breach of Terms, perfect. He has not breached our terms yet, so we are good. And then boom, now we'll just use this as a blocker. I mean, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Unless he keeps doing that. So boom, blocker. Oh, it's sleeping. Okay, we're fine though. We have a lot of HP. Now, we do just need a little bit more turn. Boom, perfect. And I think also Pack of Non-Aggression is up. Yes, sir. That's always a good card. Now we will do that. Discard that. Boom. Molten Mire, though. There are 2, so we don't need both of them, but we will do that. Now, draw the card. You know what? Draw the card. That is absolutely not what we want to do. And we already discarded. So now we can just... If we attack, he'll probably block with that. See what we're going to attack with here. Now, it doesn't register. It does no damage. So, yeah, it's gonna block. And it's going to do more damage to that. Which is pretty good. Now... So, boom, Breach of Terms. Try to get things stronger. I don't really want that. And a full push. Oh, we can take that damage. We'll Breach of Terms. And then we'll do a little bit more tomfoolery because I want to make sure I have enough damage. Oh, That's the thing we don't want happening. Now we will do this. Do a little bit of that. You know, we'll Breach of Terms. Actually, you know what? Also, the reason why there's also 2 of those, just in case of, like, maybe they don't die, so you have to rebuild them back up. And then also, you know, do that again. That's the reason why there's another one. To help cycle through, that's the reason why. Sometimes it could get Breached to Terms. That's also why, Okay, so I'm gonna, since I'm now showing you how to play the deck, I'll go more into depth with it. But the reason why this is also in there is also for Breach of Terms. That's the reason why most things are in here, because Breach of Terms is something that could counter this deck. That's the reason why whenever you see something over there, play a spell that doesn't really matter too much, like Beneficial Agreement, then Servito, Pre-Planned Prophecy I would save, but like Dreadful Drain is something to get rid of, Life Pack, that's not too important. And Golden Silence is okay. I mean, I wouldn't honestly waste it, but if you need to, I would. Resource Equalizer is also something that if you really need to get rid of, you could. Shield Enchantment. There's a couple of those help get rid of the help go against them. But you can see now is that actually when I get, let's see, if I type this again, he's dead, and then we survive. And if even if we got to 5 HP, we would have held back up to 10, or we would have got 10 more HP, and then boom, we would have won anyway. So, it's, I don't know actually how I won that, I'm gonna be honest. I actually was not, I was not actually thinking I was gonna win. I actually kind of thought that I would lose, because he did get rid of something that was very important, but we did win. So as long as you kind of have, how the deck works, and then you also know, like, what to think about, it's a pretty good deck. I wouldn't say it's the worst deck ever, but it is pretty good. So now I'm going to go more into depth of how to play it. That was more of a showcase. This video is already long enough, but I could always cut it down. So, first, whenever you can, discard cards for life. I'm not saying always discard all your cards, but, like, for example, if you ever have Beneficial Agreement in it, either use that as a get rid of Breach of Terms, or use that to gain life. Even one life matters, because that could be always be the difference. To also try to cycle out, because you need a Loyalty Lieutenant, and then you also always need, so as long as you have one Loyalty Lieutenant in your hand, and you have one Grand Tutoring in your hand, and the rest are just spells and stuff like that, it's fine, because as long as you keep discarding, you're going to keep building up your army, and then sometimes you even get 2 Loyalty Lieutenants out there, and you can build up at twice as fast. Use the other cards, like I showed you how I got 2 Soul Swords for only 1 mana. That's really good. And so yeah, it's a very good deck to use for Soul Swords, because Soul Sword decks did get nerfed, because their legendary card did get nerfed apparently. So Soul Swords kind of lost their use, but there always are that. So you also have, you can do that with Morton Mayor. The other cards you could do that with is any card that you like that is really good with multiple of. So that's like a bomber deck. So if you really want to do that, for example, if you like, I don't know, pretend you got like Vile Bonesmith, and then you did that, and then you can make like kill him off a bunch of times, and then make him really buff. You could do that. You could do that whenever you cast a spell. All of them gain more like damage. Um, this even too, you kill one of them, and then it does like 50 million damage too. Because I think I actually saw someone do that. They did that, and then what they did is then they would sacrifice one of their creatures. So it was a Dungeon Master Alger's Order, and then they would sacrifice a creature with their leech or the lich or whatever, and then it would enrage all of them, because all the loyal lieutenants were these cards, and then they would all just do a bunch of damage at you. You could even do this, where then a bunch of them, you just play a bunch of spells and you do that, and then all your loyalty or all your whatever becomes like 50/50s and you attack. You could do it with Molten Mire, like I showed you. You could do it with, I think I think the dude also said you can also do it with this. No, not that card. With this card. After banish a random spell from your card and give it a catnip copy, you could have a whole bunch of those, play a bunch of spells, and then you could get like 50,000, or not really 50,000, but like 7 dark matter blasts, which do 3 damage to that, and then 1 damage to you. So you kill them off with dark matter blasts. I mean, hell, you could even just do it with a funny card, like this one, where you just keep spawning bone amalgamations, because all of them have this ability. You can even do it with adjacent weaponry, where all of your creatures give each other 3 plus 3 plus 3. And you can even do it with this legendary, I believe, because, no, it says non-legendary. I gotta remember, it says non-legendary Grand Tutoring. So you cannot do it with legendary cards. I just remembered, because it does say, yeah, non-legendary creature. But any card that isn't legendary. So you can even do it with like this. Give all 7 creatures -2, -0, which would only be good for an actual self-sword deck. Like an actual one where you don't want damage to the loophole. I mean, you could also do it with whatever. But all I would recommend is cards that give, the more that you have, like, the more that you have of it, the better. Because, like, those Molten Mires are good because you can do, like, 20 damage in 1 round and knock out the opponent before you knock out yourself. Or if you have, like, this, you can make all your spells cost 0 and then just, like, play, like, for example, you can make it so you have, like, 3 of these, or you have, like, 2 of these on the board. How much is a Dark Matter Blast? You can have 1 of them on the board, and then you could catnip copy a bunch of spells and just keep playing those and then do hundreds of damage. There's tons of cards you can do with this deck, but I'm now going to show you guys the deck, and because you guys stayed till the end. So I'm going to stay here for a couple minutes, just copy it down, pause the video. So, yeah. And then I'm going to go with cards that you do need. So, actually, before you guys copy this, you guys can already copy it. Cards you do need are, let me see. You don't need any of those. Cards you do need are, any card with healing. So that's gonna be like your dreadful drains. You don't need dreadful drains, but they are very useful. Your pack of non-aggression is very useful, and I would recommend it. You kind of do need it. It's really good for some situations. You do not need channel destruction, but you do need golden silence. That's a pretty needed card. Not really restored alchemy though. You need 3 of these all the time because they do give you like I think that's like 9 HP, and then it gives you a bunch of other ones, and life elixirs give you 2 HP. So very needed. Um, Molten Myers, you do need these at least 2. Loyal Lieutenants, you also need these at least 2. And Grand Tutoring, at least 2. You need those. Those are going to be your like 8-ish cards, and then also you need any card that does give you HP. For example, like Dreadful Drain is very needed. Not like need, but you do want cards that do give you HP. Um, so yeah, like resource equivalization is pretty good for that because of the HP part. Yeah, your beneficial agreements are good for the life, and then hell, you can even put on a creature they'll attack with, block with your loyal lieutenants, and then you'll gain 3 life. So you can use them as an actual card, but they aren't all the time needed because you kind of never want to waste your like cell swords. Like I showed, I took a lot of damage sometimes because I knew that if I got rid of them, then I would not have them back. But there are some cases that you could sacrifice a few to help. Breach of Terms is also very useful because they will try to counter your deck. Because people do see Cell Swords and then know that they get rid of Loyal Lieutenant. They, higher match players, they'll try to get rid of that card. Even if it isn't a typical Cell Sword deck, Loyal Lieutenants are needed. And if they get rid of all your Loyal Lieutenants, then you can't really play the deck. So Breach of Terms is really good, and most likely you at least need 1 or 2 to help with that. And then other than that, that's all needed, or that's all the needed cards, really. You could probably always buff this up, like, maybe, add a few of these, unlawful trypass, the attacker that has dealt the most damage, so, like, pretend they attack you with, like, a 10, like, a 10-10, and then you take the 10 damage, but then it automatically kills it, or they even attack you. Oh, direct combat damage. So, like, pretend, like, they attack you with birds. It kills the bird out the air, because you can't block air that much. Your loyal lieutenants can, because they are ranged, but, But now I'm going to let you guys copy the deck. My bad, that I was rambling on, but here's the deck. Pause the video. I'm going to go down now. Sorry, guys. Trying to see where I was. Wait, packing on aggression. Go upwards. Okay, take a picture. Or pause. Where was I? Life. Packing on aggression. It's mind corruption. Go down all the way. Oh, that's it. And this is the last part. So take a picture or copy it or whatever you need to do. So yeah, there you go. That is the whole deck, and this is one of the I've only seen one other video on YouTube that actually lets you have a deck for free and see it. So hopefully you guys like this video. And not a lot of people are gonna see this, but if you do see this, trust me, I have played against a few kids. Not anybody really, really good, but good enough to where the fact they could counter if they really wanted to. But not a lot of people see the Molten Mire incoming because one, it is a very, very not really used deck because not a lot of people kind of assume to deal damage to you and your opponent is useful. That's why you need life spells. That's what I'm telling you. If you don't have enough life spells, save the deck for later until you get some. That's why Restore of Alchemy is really needed. That's why packing on aggression is very useful because it will give you back that 10 HP. So even if they're above you by 10 HP, as long as you have packing on aggression or or whatever, then it can get you back. So pretend like they're ahead of you by 10 HP. Packing on aggression will reset it. Technically, not really. It'll give you back that 10 HP that you missed when you get down to 5, and then you'll win the game. There's been times that I have really used that because I was down at 2 HP and the person was at 6, but then packing on aggression popped, and then I killed him off with 2 more Meyer clone stuff. Very useful if you guys don't know. Augur Order decks cards are very useful to get those cards if needed, but also I recommend core booster packs. And then also, if you guys don't know, anything with a sun above it is you can only get from the new pack. So that would include nothing from this page. Nope. Nope, nothing from here that you really need. Nope. Oh, no. And not these cards. I think all the cards from this deck is from the old packs. Yeah, they are. It's the Dungeon Master. My bad, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm rambling on. Molten Mire is a new card. It is a Sun card. So if you guys really do need them, get them from the new packs. I'll even open one. Never mind, I'm broke. I'm a broke boy. But yeah, that's my deck. Hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe, and maybe then I'll show you guys my ranked deck. Rushy Mushy. Can't copy that. I'll even show you guys my slippery deck, the slime deck. So if you guys ever want to see more deck ideas, I'm not the best at building decks, but I have built this deck by myself. This deck by myself but was given the idea. This deck is copied from a gold player to help him get to gold, but it is a good rush deck for ranked, and then this is just a modified deck for Plundering Guild. So if you guys ever want to see any of my decks, or maybe I can try to create more decks, because I got a good amount of cards to create a deck, so maybe you guys want a Sellsword deck. Check it out. This game is pretty underground, though, so I don't expect a lot of people to see this, so definitely like and subscribe, and get me out there.